Hello, everybody. This is your captain speaking. Rafael Chacines no es el Capitán Rafucho. And welcome to the adventure. And right now, after Survivor Series WWE at Chicago, right now we have some special guests. I know you might be this person is very popular, viral on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, also for the social media. I mean, this guy has it all because not only provide the breaking news, also he provide this greatest takes on wrestling because that dude is really awesome. So I had the opportunity to meet, introduce him for the first time, and this is gonna be like amazing. And this man has no introduction at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, on this special interview, because we're gonna talk about for the Survivor Series and also for the topics of the wrestling. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man of the hour, Mr. Niko Exxtra. How's it going?
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for having me. Let's talk some wrestling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because right now we are not only live on YouTube, but also we just live on TikTok right now. Because I know it sounds very weird, but this is like the first time that we did to introduce, like, experiment something incredible. So, right now, let's get involved for the first topic right now. So, the first topic is the WWE Survivor Series, and all the men who steal the show last night, but also it became like the return of Randy Orton, but also at the last minute, they just got the return of CM Punk at the last minute after the men's Survivor Series War Games match, which Randy Orton, along with Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso, they just won against the Judgment Day, along with Drew McIntyre. So I have a question right now because after CM Punk being like in a pause for WWE, because the last time we just saw CM Punk, that was in 2013, 2014. But with the return of Randy Orton, also they had the returns of The Rock and John Cena. It might be that Randy Orton and CM Punk could be the last dance for the career of WWE, because look at that. I know that Randy Orton just debuted on 2000 with the OWB, and then he was debuted on WWE in 2002, and then he just climbing off of the youngest champion in the history of the heavyweight champion. He's became like a signature with the Legend Killer. Do you think that Randy Orton and CM Punk could have the last dance for the next year at the WWE?
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know off the top of my head how old Randy Orton is, but he has to be 40 something years old. I mean, I'm 43. He's pretty much my age. I know CM Punk's like 45. AJ Styles is 46. I mean, all these guys don't really have another 15 years in them. Let's be honest. Unless they can go to AEW and wrestle forever, but in WWE, like, there usually is some kind of time expiring on you. And 40 years old, unless you're like a mega star, 40 years old is really tough to still maintain your top presence. And yeah, I would say that's accurate to say that Randy Orton and CM Punk and all these other guys this is their last big chance at, the true legitimate WWE World Heavyweight Championship contenders.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know for a fact, because Randy Orton has a long career with WWE, and he made through for all the past for over those last 20 years. He get involved with Evolution, with Batista, Triple H, also with Ric Flair. Also, they got for the signature of the Legend Killer, along with Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes. But also, we just made like a great personality, because he became one of the most villains ever in the history of the WWE. Because with that nickname, the Venom, the Legend Killer, I mean, he doesn't give up. Because I know for this long career, I mean, it could happen like the last year, but in the case of CM Punk was really different, because during that year he was debuted an ANEW, specifically at the place of Chicago with Collision, and then they were just kicked out, and then he came back for the WWE. But I'm not really sure if CM Punk could have the last shot at the WWE, because the last time that we just saw the WWE, it was in 2013. That time, CM Punk time in the WWE was like he was the WWE champion. He has a lot of feuds, he had a lot of tensions, but I mean, this could be the opportunity to give the last chance to prove like he's the best in the world. But I mean, it could happen.
I don't know, man. I think right now CM Punk really is giving. He just moves the needle like no one before. Like if you go on social media, which I know you're all over social media just like me, he's everywhere. Everyone's talking about CM Punk. They hate his guts. They think he's amazing. It's one, you know what I mean? You either love him or hate him, but regardless of what it is, you're talking about him. Even me, I'm talking about him all the time, and it's like, why? What is it about this guy that is so special? Because he's not the best wrestler in the world by any means. You know, he's not even like, there's so many better wrestlers. He's great on the mic, but there's people better on the mic too. And the WWE, whether he likes it or not, he's not going to be able to be the real CM Punk like he was in AEW. He was a wild animal on the microphone. They all were. Him, Eddie Kingston, John Moxley, MJF, they were all cutting seething promos on each other. And it's not like that in WWE. You call him a parasite or something, but in AEW, they were going wild in there. And it's a huge loss for AEW. And it's really is a huge pickup for WWE if you think about this, because they have a lot of plans for 2024 with France and Australia and all these pay-per-views. WrestleMania is, you know, going to be huge. It's just all setting up everything for just a really wonderful 2024. And it's the perfect timing because they just sold to TKO Holdings and their stock and their public. It all needs to work out. And it's just kind of, they nailed it. They hit a home run with it. I hate to say it, but they did. With CM Punk, they hit a home run.
Yeah, that's exactly. And speaking about for the MGF, I know that after we talked about for the Survivor Series, which is to come CM Punk right now, let's move on for the next topic. I know for the ANEW has a lot of stars, but this 2014, which is just 2013, which is 23, I repeat how to sort of myself, but I know that 2023, it could be like the absolutely year for MGF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, because I know that that year he became like one of the most breakup stars at the ANEW for all for the year. I mean, he's the longest reigning world champion in the history of the company. Surprising of the year for Afton picking the belt at Full Gear. And of course, we just see one of the best matches, the Iron match against Brian Danielson on Revolution. I mean, there are so many arguments that it has been gold for this one, but I mean, he's been like a great champion for over a year, and he held across for the card. In fact, because this is a sample who had a lot of success. Because I know there's something that NGF is mad or anything else, but no. In my point right now, MGF has proved to be one of the best wrestlers of all for the year. Because if AEW has their biggest stars with Darby Allin, also Orange Cassidy, also John Moxley, also Eddie Kingston, but MGF proves himself that he's the best of the year 2023. And of course, we can never forget about the storyline between Adam Cole and of course MGF. It will define for this feud and we kind of the frenemies, but it looks like he has never felt more important because he felt like this is the biggest star. So my question for you, because that year MGF is proved out the best. So can you tell us any thoughts that MGF has his biggest year in AEW after all he acclaimed and also he achieved more than a world champion title? So if this is the year of the MGF 2013, 2023. Oh,
MJF is AEW's Hulk Hogan. He's their Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's their Rock. He's their John Cena. He's their Roman Reigns. Like, he is their guy. And he's been their guy for a long time. I mean, even when AEW started, there was this 23-year-old guy with a mouthpiece that everyone that it was getting a weekly match, and he was in that Pinnacle group with FTR. Like, they've always set him up for success. And then they kept hiring and buying more people. They bought CM Punk. They bought Adam Cole. They bought, I can't even remember all the names that have came in, John Moxley. And I mean, it just goes on and on. And now Jay White and Will Ospreay. Like, they keep bringing in more people, but the one constant is MJF. And MJF has proven himself to be their workhorse. He was, if you look at his promo a year ago versus promos now, they're completely different. His promo a year ago was F you, fire me, I hate your guts, you're a piece of crap, Tony Khan. Now, you know, spitting, throwing drinks on kids, not kayfabe, really doing it. And now he's, you know, thanking the audience for showing up. He's the guy closing out the show. He's the new Kenny Omega going, bang, good night, have a good, sweet, whatever he says. I don't know what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like, he's the guy, he's at Okada now saying good night on MJ Pro Wrestling. That's that one baby face that always closes the show out, and it's him now. And he's one of those guys that he's so over that it doesn't matter what he says, he's going to be liked. And keep remembering, this storyline might be a different if Adam Cole didn't get injured. If he didn't break his ankle walking to the damn ring, what the hell's up with that? I mean, the guy's so feeble. Like, if he doesn't break his ankle, where's this storyline going right now? You know, is he even still the champ? Who knows?
Yeah, and I understand about
like
it.
MJF was scared. I feel like they were pushing it towards Adam Cole screwing MJF over and becoming the champ.
Yeah, exactly. I understand that this could be like one of the best years of his career right now, because he looked very solid, and of course you can never beat MGF on the ring, and of course for the mic, because every time that I just see on the TV between AEW, Dynamite, or maybe Collision and everything on pay-per-view, you can never beat MGF on a microphone, and of course for the ring, because his energy is undeniable. I mean, this guy has been one of the best wrestlers that ever done in the whole life. And I mean, Tony Khan just hit the jackpot, because all this time for the AEW, one of the most important things, because all of at this point on Wednesday, when they joined to AEW, they just put it out for the team at MGF, and everybody crowds with him, because every time they close it up with, they say, I'm better than you, and you know it. I mean, this guy has the perfect energy, the match, and of course he got everything that he got it. So you cannot disagree that MGF is one of those best breakout, because he has a great year. And also his mic styles, I mean, he was so great. I mean, you cannot deny it.
He's had a great year, but here's the thing. You were talking about the last ride. I mean, AEW has way more of that going on. They got Edge. He's in his 40s. They got Chris Jericho. He's in his 50s. They got Sting. Well, he finally retired, but he was 65. They got Ric Flair. I don't know what he's doing. Like, they got all these old people. Christian's mid 40s. You know what I mean? It's all their last rides too. So what is AEW going to do for the future? Because their four pillars apparently are MJF, what's his name?
Sammy Guevara, there's Darby Allin, Jungle Boy,
who's suspended. You know what I mean? Might be the devil, might not be. And then MJF. So like they need to really work on building their own talent and quit buying all the WWE talent to compete in ratings, because unfortunately Edge isn't moving the needle. Ronda Rousey isn't going to move the needle. Like, they're playing the wrong moves right now, because they just lost CM Punk and Jade Cargill, and that's two huge losses.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we just saw that Jade Cargill go into WWE, and of course, we just see CM Punk return. And also, we just speaking about the last ride, because I know for one of these promos that maybe the next year's thing will be like his last ride. But also, I just really shocked about, because the contract of Edge will be ending on WWE at least at September 23. But right now he's getting comfortable with AEW, and right now he's getting like a feel with Christian. I don't know, because I think that this could be like the last dance for some of the wrestlers that grew up for years. I mean, when I was watching the wrestling over the last years, I just realized that those wrestlers had a lot of experience, they had a lot of achievements, and they have great years. But also they just had the hey. So right now this could be my last year for everything. I mean, those wrestlers had a lot of years to experience, because look at Chris Jericho right now, because after he just left WWE to move to AEW, I mean, he has a very run right now. But I think this could be like the last chance that we saw all those wrestlers that we grew up. It became like the end of the era and move on to the new era, which is the one of those wrestlers that want to grow up with our children.
And when you think about the last ride or whatever, like, do you watch independent wrestling on top of AEW, WWE? Sometimes you'll go to an independent show and you'll see a 65, 70-year-old person wrestling. Like some guy
Oh
that was
yeah.
wrestling in the 80s, Scott Steiner. You know what I mean? You'll go there and see Scott Steiner still wrestling, and he's an old, I mean, I was a young person watching him wrestle, and now he's way past their prime. And unfortunately, if they don't get their money right, they have to continue on the journey and wrestle at old ages, which is very dangerous health wise. You cannot be out and then taking bumps in your 60s, because you're gonna break something, you're gonna be injured, and you could get hurt really bad. So
Yeah, that's exactly, because there are some young talents who be like the brand new generation, but
I'm
also
on your
there is a
TikTok
lot.
right now. We should have went live face to face on TikTok, not filming the screen. You
Oh
know,
yes, because I just put the TikTok right now, because I just put the TikTok, and I just put the TikTok live, but also we just I put a live stream not only on YouTube channel, but also I just put in the live stream on YouTube, because because I had the screen right now, because I just put the mute on my TV, and I had to go for the capture for the TikTok, because I know there's something like very weird, because I had to do about it. So I had
yeah.
to go to grab my tablet, and they had to go to the YouTube channel to put on mute, and then we just because I had to go the handle of this one. So
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
might be like the first time to do it about it.
We
So
would have had more people though if it would have been like our faces instead of you filming the screen for future time.
yeah, for the future time, yes, I know about that. And of course, we gotta move to the next topic right now. So not only MGF has a great year from ANEW during 23, also for this longest reign of the championship. Also, we just see like after we just saw on WrestleMania, the reign of Roman Reigns, it became undeniable. He became undisputable. But after we just saw after LA Knight just having like a great time, but also we just seen like a lot of to see that all Roman Reigns is still the championship, but I know he's still reigning the championship over the last 3 years. So I know that's a matter of fact. But do you think that 2024 could be the year that ending the reigns of Roman Reigns as the undisputed champion? Because I'm not very sure it's gonna happen like this one.
Yeah, they don't really know what to do with Roman at this point. They've created a monster, and he has all the chess moves to do whatever he wants to do. He's controlling his own schedule. I don't blame him for taking a partial schedule at this point in his career. If you look back, he's been the main event guy and going week in, week out for a very long time. He was the main event at WrestleMania 33 against The Undertaker. That was 7, 8 years ago. You know what I mean? So he's been doing this for a long time. And he can't help the fact that he is the guy. And when you're the guy, like I see Brock Lesnar here in the background, like a Brock Lesnar, like a CM Punk or whatever, you kind of get to choose what you're going to do. And right now, Roman Reigns has chose a limited schedule, but unfortunately for him, there's a lot of people barking up the tree that want to be the champion. There's Gunther. He can't be denied. He's, probably the best professional wrestler out there right now. There's Seth freaking Rollins. He has the other title versus title. Who's the real world champion? There's that whole storyline. There's LA Knight, obviously a huge megastar with big numbers, but his flame is going to rise and fall quickly because, again, he's older in age. He's in his late 30s, maybe early 40s. So I'm not quite sure who's going to, and then obviously Cody Rhodes finishing his story, already declared himself for Royal Rumble, will probably win the Royal Rumble, will probably challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania night 2. I mean, it looks like it's going to be like a CM Punk versus Seth Rollins night 1, Roman Reigns versus Cody night 2. You don't even need The Rock at this point, which is crazy to think, but I see Cody winning this year at WrestleMania. I see the story getting finished. I see Roman taking some time off after WrestleMania and maybe going to Hollywood or something, but he's just the runs. There's nothing left to do in this run. He might have like 1 or 2 more matches between now and WrestleMania, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because all we just saw for the 2023, I just see like a lot of great stars to put in it at the best level. Because if you see LA Knight how to go for the level, I mean, he's he's kind of one of the breakout stars in 23 because not only he just made viral on the social media, but also the line and of course the clothing line for the signature. Yeah, I became very popular. I mean, every person would just see like a LA Knight T-shirt, you see
Yeah,
like, oh my god, he's
it's
the
everywhere.
breakout star for the 2023 at the WWE because he could be like one of the future stars, also the future champions of the WWE. I can see from the level right now because I've been seeing like the signature, yeah, and of course, let me talk to you. I mean, this guy has very potential. Imagine if The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin had a great brother and they fusionated with LA Knight. I mean, he's the best on the mic. He's the best on the ring. I mean, you cannot disagree with LA Knight has been proved all about for this year. And I know he just lost against Roman Reigns in Crown Jewel, but this guy has a better future at this company. But and
He didn't lose clean. He didn't lose. You know what I mean? You don't really lose when you don't lose clean. That's the whole thing about pro wrestling. And Roman Reigns probably won't lose clean. There'll be some shenanigans when he wins or loses, regardless. The same people that helped him win are probably going to be the ones that screw him over. A super kick from Solo or a thumb to the, something. It's got to go down that way to make it. I mean, Roman's he's such a level now where he can't lose clean to anybody ever.
yeah,
And then on
exactly.
top of that, did you watch LA Knight when he was Eli Drake in Impact Wrestling? He had some
Oh,
really,
I remember this. I
he was
remember
great
this
back
because
then. He's been great for a long time. He just never he didn't play the right politics to get him to the position he's in now. You got to play the game.
yeah, exactly, exactly. When you mentioned that LNA before it was Eli Drake on Impact Wrestling, I mean, wow, what can I say about it? And I remember that I was watching a video about for these dummy. Yeah, I was like really
Yeah.
stunned because that guy has a lot of potential. And
Yeah.
while you're speaking about for Gunter, I mean, that guy he proves to be the best because he's the longest reigning intercontinental champion and might be surprised with Pedro Morales or The Miz because I we just saw after the match of Survivor Series against The Miz. I mean, he can prove it like he had a matches right now, but I think that Miz has very contributed for the mic, but also Gunter, you cannot disagree because he had a lot of strength on the ring right now because if you see the powerful strength of Gunter, he can knock you down right now. I mean, he has a beautiful strength. He would go for the submissions, the pins, everything. I mean, even with it compared to the Miz right now, he's the best on the mic right now because over the last decade, which is 2010, was the gold era for the Miz being awesome. And he's been like a United States champion, intercontinental champion, WWE champion. I mean, this guy hasn't been at all. And he has a reputation to be like an A-lister Hollywood star because he was starting like a reality show with his wife Maurice. But
Mm.
also we just see like the prime time of Gunter during the whole year has been the longest reigning intercontinental champion. It might be could be surprised with Pedro Morales or Self the Miz.
Problem with Gunther is if you look at the top 10 sales in t-shirts or merchandise, he's nowhere to be found. And although he's the best wrestler, he's not the needle mover that you think he is. I in the ring, there's no one better, but on the mic, there's definitely people better than him. You could tell that in his mic, little Mike Miz, whatever he did. Like that promo didn't go over. Miz had to almost tone it down to make it go even straight with each other because Miz is clearly better than him. And that's, if he can get that down, he may be unstoppable. But I mean, Yeet shouldn't be selling more than Imperium, but it is right now. It's just the way
Oh,
it is. Yeet, yeah. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, those are the shirts that are selling right now. Yeah, they're like you mentioned, the yellow, the black, the red are the top 5 shirts being sold. So I mean, I don't know how, and that's all that matters at the end of the day is how many people are watching it and how many t-shirts are being bought and all this stuff. Because if back in the day Hulk Hogan was main eventing and they were buying more Bret Hart shirts, guess what? Bret Hart becomes the main event now. It's just the way it is in pro wrestling.
yeah, it is. It is. And of course, I had the last question right now, so we just had to move on to the topic right now. So the last topic we're talking about for what is perspectives had to go for the next year at the wrestling. So my question is, who you think is gonna be like ANEW World Champion in 2024, or maybe at the WWE who'll be reigning supreme as a world champion? Because right now in ANEW they still have MGF. At the
Right.
WWE, they still have Roman Reigns, Gunther. Also, they had the United States title. I mean, there's a lot of great stars to break out for this year. So, what should it be like the more impressive? Who should be like the world champion, not only on AEW but also in WWE in 2024?
All right, let's start with AEW. I think that there will be two people next year in AEW besides MJF who will become AEW world champions.
Uh-huh.
Maybe three. Let's go with three people. There's going to be three champs next year. First one's going to be Wardlow. He's undeniable.
Oh,
He's a
amazing.
beast. He's coming for MJF. His record is like 50-3. I mean, like he's a beast. And he's one of those guys that could totally work in the WWE. So I could see Wardlow defeating MJF in a dominant fashion, by the way. You know, like here, Wardlow has arrived with his 5 power bombs. The second person is Swerve Strickland. He's a superstar. He's finally got his moment in time at the last show where everyone realized, you know, he really has the it factor and everything that's needed to be a world champion. And I think he's definitely going to get his chance to shine. And we already know he's great in the ring and great on the mic. You just need to be given your moment to be able to do so, just like MJF's been given, just like everyone else has been given. If Swerve Strickland gets the Adam Cole character, his best friend, and then teams up with him, and then they wrestle each other, Swerve wins that match. So it's all about who they pair up against strategically. And the third one would be Will Ospreay. You know, he's the best wrestler in the
Oh,
world.
that was
And
a
if
good
he
one there
comes
too.
over full time after a few months of his New Japan agreements, I could definitely see him beating, you know, MJF, maybe not clean, but with some kind of way beating him in later on next year. So I could see those three people all being world champs next year. I can't see MJF ending 2024 as a champ the whole time. There's just too much competition for it and too much other stuff for him to be able to do. He's at the point now, like Undertaker, where he doesn't need the belt to be effective.
Yep.
WWE, it's so hard to determine where they're going right now in the right direction because they're confused with Roman Reigns. I think they do believe Cody's going to be the guy to finish that, but Cody keeping the belt for the rest of the year doesn't make much sense to me because Cody's whole thing is kind of like losing and climbing the ladder. If he's at the top of the ladder the whole time, he's not Cody Rhodes anymore. So I could see him winning, maybe losing at Survivor Series or something like that. Controversially, of course, maybe back to Roman Reigns. I'm not sure what Roman Reigns is going to do, but I could see Cody potentially beating Roman. I could see LA Knight potentially beating Roman if they do decide to let that skyrocket go all the way to the top with LA Knight. For Seth, it could really be anybody because if he is truly injured, which I kind of feel at this point is fake, because his whole back thing, if his back keeps getting hurt, why is he getting power bombed through tables? You know what I mean? Like you would be nursing the back a little more than it is. So I could see Drew McIntyre definitely beating Seth freaking Rollins at one of those matches. I don't think CM Punk is going to be in the picture, but I mean, WrestleMania CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, it's a moment. It's not what I want to see, but it's a moment that a lot of people want to see. So I'm going to put Punk's name on there. And then, you know, the last person that could always beat him is Gunther. He's on Raw. He's the Intercontinental Champion. If they wanted to do an Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Gunther versus Seth Rollins, title versus title kind of gimmick, that would be a big match and everyone would be all about it because they truly believe Gunther can beat Seth Rollins. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
Gunther will probably be defending the title at WrestleMania against like a Chad Gable or who knows, want someone big, you know?
Yeah, but exactly. And of course, there's always had to go for it. And I know there's a lot of person that say that wrestling is fake, but it's just like a lifestyle. But at this point right now, I think 2024 could be like one of the incredible years in wrestling because
For sure.
if we just see Cody Rhodes finish his history right now, if you see LA Knight, if you see MGF, I mean, those guys have a lot of potential. but this next year, I mean, he could be like a really good impressive, both for the numbers, also for the pay-per-view stats, also for the historical moments that we never forget, that we never stuck in their head. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you that it was something incredible that we grew up watching. And of course, we just have like a great time to comment all those matches right now, because if we
Right.
see like a great match right now, that should be like a 10 to 10 and everything. Because look, even though that I grew up wrestling in my kid years, just like at 7 years, and when my dad came out with the BH tapes of WrestleMania, I mean, that time he completely changed my mind.
Yeah.
And I was went there from some wrestling events. For example, I went to the Raw in October 2018 in North Carolina with Braun Strowman. Also they have for the last time I just see them, Kane and The Undertaker, the Brothers of Destruction. Also, I
Nice.
just saw for a WWE Live in 2021. Also, and SmackDown twice in 2022 and 2023. I mean, this could be like a really exciting, but I
Right.
mean, that next year could be like one of the most incredible wrestling, because
It's a great
if they
time to be a
happen with,
wrestling fan.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And of course, I just wanted to tell you, thank you, Niko Exxtra, to having us for this
Yeah,
interview. And I know
absolutely.
that this live is on YouTube, but also on TikTok, because I just put it on my tablet and I just mute the TV to get a lot of attention. But
Cool.
Niko Exxtra,
Thank you. Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
yeah, that's exactly. And of course, we should be following you on the social media, because right now you had a very excited for the breaking news and all these stuff
Yeah.
for the wrestling.
Follow me on TikTok, Niko Extra One. You can follow me on Instagram, Niko Extra One, two X's, and YouTube. If you go to any of my pages, there's a direct me there where you can find all my stuff. And I would appreciate the support. Thank you so much.
Yes, exactly. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Capitán Rafucho, also on Instagram, El Capitán Rafucho, on TikTok, Capitán Rafucho, which is on live, and of course on YouTube, which is Rafael Chatting. You can type Rafael Chatting, and bam, boom. There's videos, there's live streams, and of course, I just put a live stream reaction of the Survivor
Thanks.
Series that was so epic. And I just wanted to say thank you, Niko Exxtra, for having us at this special episode with El Capitán Rafucho. And remember, guys, always support the independent wrestling, because if you
Absolutely.
wanted to see independent wrestling, it's gonna be like a great show. And trust me, it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be the first one, it's not gonna be the last one, but trust me, it will be very interesting, because always support the independent wrestlers before go for the events right now. Because imagine this, because if you see like one of those wrestlers in the independent circle, you had to be there and to see this guy could be like the mega breakout star for all these times right now. Because always support for the independent wrestling. But of course, I gotta tell you something, wrestling isn't fake. It's just a lifestyle, because we just grew up as a kids. And don't tell me that wrestling is fake. Right now is a great art, because we just see like incredible matches, incredible storylines, everything. So have a great Tuesday, have a great night, and of course, always much love and respect from El Capitan Rafucho and our special guest, Niko Exxtra. So have a great one, guys. And of course, remember this, kids. Wrestling, it's not fake. Always support the independent wrestling. So have a great one, folks.
Bye,
All right.
everyone.